Hello, Stonegate and Naples Manor. Our neighborhoods had updates on 20 different properties this month, including 8 new listings, 6 contracts, 2 failed contracts, and 5 closings. That's a lot of updates, so I'm going to talk fast. Try and keep up. I'm Jed Williams with Hagan Realty, and let's get moving. We'll start off at 730 Oxford Square Drive. This is one of Stonegate's 16 townhomes. It has 3 bedrooms, 1 full and 1 half bathroom, and 1,044 square feet. It went active in March at $438,000. Since then, it's 4 price drops down to $399,900 and been pulled off the market temporarily twice. But it was pulled off for good on May 6th after 61 days on market. 14725 Flintstone Lane. It's a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath, 1,683 square foot rancher. It went active in April for $650,000 and under contract just 4 days later. It closed on May 16th for $660,000, $10,000 over its list price. 14712 Notley Road is a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,995 square foot split level. Active in March, listed at $699,900. They dropped their price twice in April, ending up at $650,000, and went under contract on May 4th after 45 days on market. Next up, 717 Pebblestone Court. This is a 2,100 square foot, 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath colonial. I poked some fun at their 8 price drops, going from $740,000 to $699,993. To be fair, 3 of those price drops were for $1, and that's kind of funny. But they went under contract in April after 169 days on market and closed May 9th for $699,993. Their full list price, to the penny. Now, to whoever bought that house, you missed a chance at comedic gold here. I've got to ask you, why? Why didn't you offer them $1 under their list price? I mean, really? That would have been hilarious. Alas, missed opportunity, and we move on. 209 Farmgate Lane, a 6-bedroom, 2 full and 3 half bath. Yeah, that's a bit weird, but that's how it is. 3,400 square foot single family. Was coming soon on May 23rd for $935,000. Very soon, as it turns out, because it was active the very next day and ended up the month at 8 days on market. 121 Farmgate Lane is a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 2,200 square foot colonial that went straight to active for $715,000 on May 9th and under contract 5 days later. 14417 Jaystone Drive is a 5-bedroom, 2 full and 2 half bath split level that went straight to active for $719,000 and ended the month 24 days later the same way. 15208 Winstead Lane is a 4-bedroom, 2 full and 2 half bath, 2,600 square foot rancher. It was listed in March for $860,000 and then dropped $40,000 before going under contract after 44 days on market. They still haven't closed yet, but we'll check back on them next month. 15,000 Butterchurn Lane, a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 1,916 square foot contemporary that went active back in April at $679,900. They were still for sale at month end after 37 days on market. 14612 Corona Drive, 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bath colonial with 2,300 square feet. They listed for $725,000 at the end of April and went under contract 8 days later, due to close next month. 14705 Flintstone Lane is a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath, 2,500 square foot split level. They went active in March for $640,000, went under contract on April 5th after just 6 days on market, but that contract failed and the property was relisted on May 27th. 14709 Notley Road, a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath, 2,700 square foot colonial. It listed for $699,900 and went under contract in April. They closed May 28th for $651,000 after 20 days on market. It's $1,000 over their list price, but $49,000 under their original list price. 524 Stonehouse Lane is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,680 square foot colonial with no garage and an unfinished basement. They listed at $605,000 in April, went under contract 5 days later, and that contract fell through 5 days after that. They were still active at month end at 32 days on market. 15109 Watergate Road, a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath contemporary, active May 8th for $675,000 and went under contract 6 days later. 14620 J Stone Drive. This 5-bedroom, 3.5-bath split level batted for the cycle in May. They listed on the 8th for $750,000, went under contract on the 13th, and closed on the 30th for $816,000. That's $66K over their original asking price. That's a home run. 15221 Middlegate Road is a 3,000 square foot, 4-bedroom, 3 full and 1/2 bath colonial that popped up as coming soon on the 23rd for $924,900. 14701 Notley Road is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath split level listed as coming soon on the 24th for $715,000 and went active the next day. It was still for sale at month end after a week on the market. 15008 Notley Road is a 3,800 square foot colonial with 5 bedrooms, 4 full and 1/2 bath that went straight to active on the 29th for $874,900 and was still active at month end. And then we come to my two. 14628 Cutstone Way, 6 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, 2,800 square feet above grade, 4,300 square foot total, and nearly 2,000 square foot of deck. Coming soon in April, active May 2nd, priced at $1 million. The third property to have tried for 7 digits here, and all 3 have been my listings. We went under contract 4 days later with multiple offers. We're due to close after this update will drop, so I can't tell you yet exactly what we got. But I can tell you, you're definitely going to want to check us out in next month's update. And, drum roll please, number 20, our last update for the month. Last month, I gave you a sneak peek at another one of my Stonegate listings, 129 Farmgate Lane. 4,400 square foot colonial with 6 bedrooms, 5 full and 1/2 baths, one of the largest homes in either community. This one was a private sale. We went under contract before we ever even hit the market. We closed on May 2nd for $1.2 million, tying the price record for the neighborhood, which was another Hagan Realty listing. But while the price was $1.2 million, there was no buyer's agent on this deal, so really my sellers got the equivalent of $1,230,000, the new highest price in Stonegate and Naples Manor. Now let's shift to a wider look at the Colesville market, which is showing signs of shifting from a seller's market to a buyer market. New listings jumped by 64% year over year, with 90 new listings hitting the market in May. May of 2024 was a slow month for Colesville, but 90 new listings is still a lot of inventory. Demand activity also picked up, with 59 new contracts written in May, which is up 44% from last month and 20% from last year. That's a good sign, but that still has demand lagging supply here. Now, normally, when supply outpaces demand, you tend to see downward pressure on prices. But prices in Colesville have continued to climb, albeit at a slower 3.1% rate, which is down from 4.3% last month and 5% the month before. Time on market was actually faster than last month, but slower than this time last year. The median home is taking just 8 days to go under contract, but the average is a bit over double that mark. But the number that really grabbed my attention was the listing failure rate, which was already quite high last month at 25%, but this month it hit 33%, which is the highest it's been since the first 2 months of COVID. That means 33%, fully 1/3 of sellers who tried to sell their homes couldn't and pulled them off the market. Now, on the mortgage front, the average 30-year fixed-rate loan edged up to close out the month at 6.95%, which is up slightly from 6.81% at the end of April. Be sure to check back next month for another monthly market report for Stonegate and Naples Manor, or if you'd prefer more timely updates, including all of the listing photos for each property, Register at the link in the description, and we'll set you up with a free automatic email anytime a property hits the market, has a price change, goes under contract, or closes in either neighborhood. And remember, if you or one of your friends or neighbors are looking to buy or sell, give me and my team a call. I'm Jed Williams with Hagan Realty, and Stonegate and Naples Manor. You'll be moved.